on that note, we're going to move to the West. And so the West have all the teams you would think would be in the West. Funnily enough, that's why they called it the West. You got Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, Los Angeles, Minnesota, San Jose, St. Louis, and Vegas. Now, this is already a much stronger division. But I'll start again with the worst team. Who do you think is going to be the worst team out of this division?
Half the division.
Interesting.
Like
Okay, so wait, look, I'll guess it for you then. You're picking Arizona, Los Angeles, Minnesota, and San Jose is the bottom four.
No. You got
Oh,
three of the four right.
San Jose was the one I didn't get.
Yeah.
You think like
So I think okay.
Anaheim?
When you no, let me explain this. So when you
No, let me
actually
just
look at
keep
this division,
let me just
let's
keep saying
guessing.
team names.
Yeah,
Yeah, go for it.
So when you actually look at this division, I think half the teams are in a deep rebuild, and then half the
Yeah,
teams are like only three teams you can look at and be like, whoa, these teams are really good. They have potential to actually make a move in the playoffs. And then for
correct.
the fourth spot, I thought of all the teams who have the ability to ever get hot or actually play to their potential, who's it going to be? Look, San Jose had a terrible year last year.
Yeah,
There's no way. There's no way all those players have bad back-to-back years.
I agree.
Like there's still so much talent on that team. I don't think they're
Yeah,
going to give like Colorado or Vegas a run, but like Erik Karlsson, Brett Burns, Logan Couture, Evander Kane, Timo Meyer, like there's definitely enough talent there to squeak
yeah.
into that playoffs when you're going up against Arizona, LA, Anaheim on a nightly basis. Like those teams are in full scale retools and rebuilds. So I think San Jose, yeah, was the one pick that I kind of had as being kind of that fourth seed to kind of squeak in.
Yeah.
Um, can they get enough goaltending? Can they get enough shutdown defense? I would say yeah, when you're going up against LA and Arizona on a nightly basis. So
Well, it seems that, and I think this probably, I mean, apart from one notable division, it seems kind of uh, obvious. I'm not really obvious, but it seems that it just makes sense that you've got a couple teams in the middle, a couple teams at the bottom, and then it's these. Oh, not teams. Sorry, a couple teams at the top, a couple teams at the bottom, and then it's these middling teams. These, as we mentioned, the San Jose's, the Floridas, the Dallases, like it really counts on what they're going to be able to take away from those top teams because everyone is going to be able to walk all over LA. They're going to be able to walk all over Detroit and Arizona and these teams. So it really comes down to not how you played the whole year, but really how, at least, like, let's talk San Jose. It really matters how they're going to play against St. Louis and against Minnesota because Los Angeles and Arizona are so far below those two that they've got to squeak out those really important games and try and edge out overtime games against Colorado and Vegas to make it and be in with a shot.
yeah, I just think they're going to be able to win enough games against all the other teams. I don't even think they need to worry about Colorado or Vegas because they're not going to win. Like those two teams are going to be so far away above the best in the division. I think St. Louis is a step below those two. Actually, to be honest, I have them in three different stages. I think Colorado is clearly the best, then Vegas, then St. Louis, and then kind
Yeah.
of there's a little bit of unknown. But I just kind of went with San Jose because of their potential to kind of be something.
I think San Jose is going to come back and have a storming year. And I think
Storming year. What's a storming year
storming.
look like?
It's like
Is that like a second seed or is that like them
I
being the
think
best in the division?
no, because Colorado is the deepest team in the NHL with the most quality throughout all four forward lines and all three defensive lines and solid goaltending.
Imagine if they get Bowen Byram too, and he comes in place for that team.
Well,
I mean,
I
geez.
think he'll be there next year because of the expansion draft.
I think he's
So
going to be there this year.
well, either which way, Colorado is in a if Tampa. Okay, well here's a question: do you think Tampa is like who do you think is further above their division? Tampa in the Central or Colorado in the West?
Tampa in the Central.
But that's only because you think the Central teams are worse, not that they're necessarily better than Colorado.
Like if we're comparing the two divisions, there's a lot. I think the Central's teams are a lot closer together based on talent wise, but I'm much more less impressed with kind of the second and third seeds as I am with the second and third seeds within the West.
Yeah,
I think Vegas and St. Louis are a lot closer to being Colorado than what Carolina and Dallas are to Tampa. So I guess that's how I'm making my differentiation. Right?
Yeah.
But I do think the Central is a deeper division on the entirety because I think 1 through 6 can make the playoffs. And I really think in the West, only 4 teams can make the playoffs. Well, I mean, only 4 teams are going to make the playoffs. But
wow, that's another hot take.
Maybe Minnesota squeaks in there, but I am so off Minnesota for so many reasons. So
yeah, I've never been convinced with Minnesota's ability to score. Or yeah, no,
I mean,
mostly
they don't have any centers. So
well, they traded their last good one away too. So, but like, yeah, no. Did Mikael Granlund go to Minnesota?
No, he stayed in Nashville.
He stayed in Nashville.
Yeah, they do. They're getting like Kaprizov Kaprizov, who will be interesting to see.
Yeah. I mean, I think Minnesota.
They traded for Nick Bjugstad, who I think was unfairly slotted in Pittsburgh, and I think he could actually be a deep sleeper. Not as a big time point producer, but just as coming back to his norm where he was in Florida.
He was really good on my NHL 13 when I don't know if I drafted him with Chicago or I traded for him, but he had a lot of solid potential. I think it was either 13 or 15, one of the years NHLs. Might have been 15.